This is Sneaker Gears. My name is Levi. Today we have a performance review and comparison of the new Nike KD9. We're going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to start off with the upper and the fit. Going into that, this middle stitch down the shoe is going to prevent anybody with a high instep from really being able to even put this shoe on. When I initially bought this shoe, there was a gentleman who was a size 10.5 normally. He had a very high instep. He tried on a size 11. Still was not able to get his foot on. He had to go up to a size 12, which is my size, just to get his foot on. And at that point, it doesn't matter how much you do your lockdown, you're not going to get the benefits of performance because it just does not fit. For wide footers, this does take an extensive break-in period. This is Flyknit, so I gave it the benefit of the doubt because every shoe that has Flyknit up until this very shoe has been very wide foot friendly. This shoe was legitimately painful. It was excruciating. It took a while for this to fit to my foot, and I just gave Nike and Flyknit the benefit of the doubt that I knew it would mold, and it eventually did. So that's why it did take a little bit longer than usual, being able to make sure this shoe fit me and be able to put it through the tests, because during that break-in period all I could really do was a few drills, let my feet stop from swelling, and then go back to it. So once it does break in, it is wide foot friendly. Just bear in mind that break-in period, and the lockdown is still quite good. This knit is a tightly woven knit. It's almost like a chain link, which is very similar to your Magista, which you can kind of see there. And coming from the soccer side, where they need a lot of lateral support, doing a lot of hard cuts, a lot of running, this does the job quite well for what it is. And I say that because we'll get to containment. The heel cup actually runs from here all the way back, so it's a pretty big heel cup, so you're locked in the shoe. Getting it on, you gotta really reach your thumb in there and pull back hard. So getting this shoe on is not quite as difficult as KD8 Elite, but still very difficult. But once you have these on, the containment is great, the lockdown is very good. It's that support. When you're making hard cuts, there's no stretch to this. It's a very tightly woven knit, woven or knit, but it's not quite as good as pretty much anything else they have. Your Hyper Rev with its fuse, I think, does a little bit better job. Your Lebron 13 Elite with the Curum does a better job. It also has a lot more support with the carbon fiber in the back portion of the shoe. And even something as simple as your Kobe 11, which is also Flyknit, but with just those TPU strands, it just feels like the support's a lot better if you're doing hard cuts, hard jabs. So whereas this does do a better job than the KD8, so they have made an improvement on that regard, it's still not quite as good as the KD8 Elite, the Kobe 11, the Lebron 13. Working your way down to the cushion, that's really this shoe's hallmark of fame. This shoe is finally Zoom Max that you can play and enjoy. I actually went back to the archives and broke out my Lebron 10s, which I haven't played with in a few months. Played in the KD6s, or actually played in them, not just did shots. Usually if I'm using the KD6, I'm just doing shooting for the day. That Zoom Max feels like a trampoline, so when you're taking 100, 200 plus shots, all that up and down, it works very well. I just don't like playing this shoe just because of the fit. I still kind of like to play with these, but there's a lot of tension on the foot just because they don't move. The KD6 moves a little bit better. The cushion on here is awesome, but your foot actually moves up and down without the shoe, almost in the shoe, so it does cause a little bit of stress on your foot. That cushion, again, Zoom Max, you feel like you're on a trampoline, but you're almost plopping with that up-down motion. It's not moving with you. That's where the KD9, after 3-4 years from the Lebron 10 and multiple iterations between this, the Hyperposit 2, and the KD6, they finally hit a home run. The flexibility on this, everyone talks about how it has that gap and it moves forward, but what I'm more impressed with is, as a bigger guy, this thing flexes even all the way back. So it's not just that forefoot flex, as well as the heel cutouts just have a really nice bounce effect. That crash landing in the heel is better or as good as anything on the market. If you follow my Instagram account, I said that using the Zoom Max on the KD9 is as good or better in many aspects than the previous most high cushion on the market, the D-Rose 6. Now, the D-Rose 6 has a really plush landing on the heel, and I would say it's pretty equal when it comes to the KD9. It is full-length boost, but what happens is the boost is pretty high. You don't get a lot of court feel, and the forefoot, because they have to make it a little more dense so it's stable, doesn't quite have as much bounce. It's kind of plush, which is great for your knees and back, but it's a heavy shoe and you're high off the ground. This is where the KD9 is awesome. The heel zoom actually tapers down to the forefoot, and I believe it's like a 4mm drop, so you are closer to the ground on the forefoot. I've seen pictures where the forefoot part is actually cut out so you're directly on the zoom bag. I don't know if that's how it actually is, but that's how it feels, where you have a lot more immediate response. When you're running, it legitimately feels like it's pushing you forward. So I love the cushioning on this. As far as playing a full game, I can definitely play on it. It's be great, but I think I still prefer the Lebron 13, and I'll get to that for a few reasons in a moment. Working down to the traction, this traction is beast. If I'm going to compare it to anything, it's that good. It's KD9 levels, right on par. They did a fantastic job on these things. Not only that, but unlike the KD8, which actually had pretty good traction, but it was really soft, definitely would not recommend using this outside in any regard. They took from the KD7. It's where the KD7 was really hard, definitely can be used off court, outside. Now it's not quite as hard as the KD7, but it is pretty close, so I would tentatively recommend being able to use this, maybe not this, a clear version, any of the solid ones, outdoor, and at the same time indoor. The traction was phenomenal, actually to the point where I actually caught myself almost falling just because it felt like having a cleat just getting stuck in the grass. So super grippy, really good cushioning, really good traction. Where this shoe really lets me down is that containment. It is still very good. And again, I'm a bigger player. I'm at 245. You have a very large guy. Someone like LeBron, he is, what, 275. So you have a lot of force. So if you're a player that exerts a lot of force, something like this is still very good. I do not want to take it away. You see the kind of player that KD is. He's a lot more finesse. He's not doing these hard jab steps. He's not going like Russell Westbrook, where it's just 100 miles an hour and just stop on a dime. So, and this fits his game really well, and it fits a lot of players very well. I actually would prefer, when I play a full game, the Lebron 13s, simply because that carbon fiber really does help me, especially when I'm playing defense, that lateral motion. I feel like I am locked in. The hex zoom, in comparison for the cushion, it has the same impact absorption, but you don't really get that bounce back effect nearly as much. And when you are driving, it doesn't quite have that fluid heel to toe action. This is a little more, you have a nice crash pad in the heel where you do feel that zoom, and it's almost like you want to be on your forefoot ready to pounce. So this just fits my game a little bit better, and I feel a lot more secure in these, and it held up. And again, this is a big man shoe. I know Nightwing said he didn't even like these because the fit was sloppy, and it is. If you don't have a wide foot, this is just tough to get a good fit for you. So for me, this was awesome. The containment, again, for most people is going to be overly done. So when you take down that containment, when you take down that fit for kind of a more normal fit, you have the KD9. So for a lot of people, that's going to be amazing. If we're going to compare this to the Kobe, I actually got the Mamba IDs in, and I was able to get that full-length zoom. So this is a really close competitor for this as far as how they're going to be used, how they're going to play. Fit, again, I prefer the fit on this, and I think the Flyknit on this is better. Nightwing, a lot of wear testers like the KD9 because they say that it's more of a true Flyknit. The TPU strands on this just have a lot more give, a little stretchy. If you have a wide foot, I feel like just it hugs you a little bit better. And again, this is from a wide-footed perspective, as well as you're closer to the ground on this. So in combination of being a little bit lighter, a little closer to the ground, and that full-length zoom, you are losing out on some of that bounciness, but you are getting very similar impact protection. So that kind of gives you a comparison between what you're getting between Nike's high-end offering. And the big factor you really want to consider is the fact that you're getting the most cushioning, despite the court feel and the responsiveness. You are getting Flyknit, which is their higher end upper, for $150. Literally 25% off anything else that Nike's offering on the high-end side. Not to mention, these haven't gone on discount. Now, I do believe a lot of these early colorways are going to sell out, and I will say for 150 bucks, it's absolutely worth it. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up the KD8, which was honestly just very ill-timed. This has a lot more containment. The fit is a lot more, I want to say free-flowing, if that's a word. It just feels like nothing's on your foot. It's like a sock. That Zoom Air is very similar feel to the Kobe, but again, you don't have that low-to-the-ground feeling like the Kobe with the full-length Zoom, and the fit is not quite one-to-one like it is on the Kobe. But again, for hard jab steps, for someone who's driving to the lane like LeBron does, where it's just like a bulldozer going through, having that containment does make a big difference. So for me, I don't mind using these. This actually suits a little bit better if you're just running up and down the court for quickness, for stops and goes. Traction's still very good, but overall, the KD9, for the most part, what you're losing in that slight bit of containment, you're getting a lot more cushion. You're still getting a very good fit, and you're getting something that actually feels a little bit lighter. So, and it's $50 cheaper. Now, these are going on sale, the KD8 for about $120, and honestly, for $30 for the majority of players, I would say just get the KD9. And now, if you feel you do need something that's a little more of a high top, and you do need a little bit more support as far as that containment, as if you're doing hard jab steps, go with the KD8. And for $120, you're not going to go wrong with that, especially with that full-length Zoom. So wrapping things up, the KD9 overall is beautiful to see Nike just taking an original concept in Zoom Max and bringing it to a thorough evolution to what we have here today. I'm also really happy to see Nike going back to putting really good traction on their shoes. The traction is a lot better than the LeBron, a lot better than the Kobe's, and up there with the Kyrie 2s and, like I said, the Kobe 9s. The cushion is phenomenal. The materials are really nice. And once you get past that break-in period, the fit is still very good. Overall, awesome shoe. Hopefully that gives you guys some food for thought as far as comparing it, some fitment issues. Since a lot of these are going to be selling out and you're ordering online, this gives you an idea. They run a half size long. They are wide foot friendly, but be prepared for that break-in period. It's not the shoe. Don't be afraid, oh, I'm going to return these. But only reason you would not want to get these, or you may have to return these, is if you have a high instep, the height of your foot. It is not instep friendly, very similar to what they did with the KD8s, and it just has to do with, I guess, the shape of Kevin Durant's foot and how they're making it for him, how that translates to the public. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Please give it the thumbs up. If you're not following me, I am on Instagram and on Twitter. I do try to post things a little bit early with your guys' input. I do have a Snapchat account that I do not use. Don't really have much of a following. If you think that's something that you guys do want to follow, want some updates on what I'm doing, that is something I will definitely try to use. I know I haven't had a video in a while here and hasn't been consistent, so definitely want to pick that up. To all subscribers out there, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for your comments, for your questions. I will try to answer any questions you guys have or any other thing that I missed. As far as a teaser, what I'm doing right now, got these bad boys, putting them to the test. Very similar to the Kyrie 2, where they do need some fine-tuning or insole customization, as it were. But I'll have that to you very shortly with a full review. This is Levi with Sneaker Gears. Thank you so much, guys. Please subscribe to the channel. And as always, we appreciate you, and we'll come at you later.